welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing awesome. Hi, and CBDS, Michigan, Shane. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome for another Friday night of golf with your enemies. Not really my enemies, but by the end of the night, you know, you might have a few choice words for your friends, or not, because they're your friends. But yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. I am gonna go jump in Discord, see who's here and who's ready to get going. I hope you're having a good Friday. And I hope we can entertain you with our shenanigans, because that's what we do on Fridays. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me go see who's here. Let's see. Oh, oh, oh. I see humans. I see humans. I see humans. Oh, hi, humans. We are live.
Hi. I'm not human. I'm alien.
You're an alien? Okay. Humans and aliens and cats and puppers and everyone alike. Welcome, welcome. What are you eating? Lovely Rain.
Air fryer shaman.
Ooh, I need an air fryer. I just don't need one of those. I don't own one of those yet.
It took me 10 minutes to make salmon.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
One day I will get an air fryer. One day. Because I want to fry all the things that are weird to fry. Like vegetables and everything. And see what happens. I want to experiment. You're finishing up supper at the moment, Shane? Sweet. If you want to join us after, feel free, feel free. We're going to do some golf and some shenanigans.
I definitely spent $75. I shouldn't have.
Ooh.
Mind you, five of it was Pokemon cards.
Oh,
The
no.
rest of it.
A Tesseract? Rain's got a Tesseract. We're in trouble.
And it has a Loki figure with it.
Miss Loki herself has a Loki figure and a Tesseract. You will? Sweet, 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 sweet. Yeah. And we have Michigan in here licking bots. And Shane. Shane thinks he's gonna run away. Is he gonna run away from a hug too? Huh?
Well.
Hugs are less invasive.
According to the manager at GameStop, he's had this in his store for months. And it's been on the shelf for months. And I only just found it today.
It must have been hidden by a bunch of stuff and nobody saw it.
It was hidden on one of the racks towards the back, and it was hidden behind like a bunch of socks and stuff. But it's by the
I've never seen one.
Series.
Yeah, we're gonna start up some golf in a bit as soon as we get enough people to join.
Actually, I think he's smaller than the other one.
Host. Oh, I switched to this screen because I'm gonna type in my password because that's what professionals do.
Yeah. That's rude.
Yeah. The uber super duper top secret password that nobody in the world knows.
Very
Wait. No, I don't want to buy it. Oh, jeez.
Buy it all.
I don't want to buy this thing. Yeah. It switched around my games and tried to get me to buy Peace of Mind, so I'm not ready to buy Peace of Minds. That costs money.
Fire that goes to the door.
Let's see. Wild Glossifer appeared. Hopefully I said that right, Glossifer. I think I did. Don't run. Oh. Don't run from yourself. There you go. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't run from yourself. Catch, guys. Catch a Pokemon with me today. Pokecatch. I probably should buy some Pokeballs. Good thing to do. Book. Shop.
Harder to put together than I thought it would be. There we go.
10.
Hold the fucking sword, you
Oh, because I put an S.
Oh, well, you
because I'm used to there being more than one. Oh. I blame America. We put S's on everything and not everybody does.
That's saucy.
Yeah. So there we go. And I feel like I need some ears or something today. I feel naked. I caught the Pokemon.
Right.
I feel naked. Also, the game is up for those ready to join.
Alright, the fight. It's like
Let's see.
Mission Impossible trying to join a lobby on this game. Dude, it's like you have time.
There we go.
Ears.
That's what I wanted. There we go. I had to fight to put the fire on the sword.
I hope it's not.
Here, I thought you were crocheting or something. No, you're playing with Loki. Of course you're playing with Loki.
That's why I said I hope it wasn't chargeable.
There we go.
I'm an adult.
So now we have this. And I have wine. Cheers, Michigan. Rain. With your Mountain Dew.
Actually, I don't even have Mountain Dew. I have root beer.
Yeah, root beer. Ooh.
Is this too busy?
Spice it
playing
up.
action
It's a
figures?
beer.
I didn't want to go to another spot, to like another place for soda, so I just got soda at Kroger. This
Right.
is what they had.
Let's see.
Well, I hope more people join, you know, because I want to play with, you know, all the balls, and I want more balls here. So there you go. Lady wants to play the ball game.
Oh, I could. Heck yeah! I could put this. And his sword could go in his little thing.
Okay. Time for you to go to bed. You can play with your action figures tomorrow.
Booting up the game now. Sweet. Hi, Moto. I was informed that I got laid off from my job on Wednesday. No! I was about to Nico knee and shout and say happy things. I'm so sorry, Dash. Oh, I hope you can get a new job really soon.
Yeah, me too.
Oh no.
Oh no, hide!
Trouble
Hide.
here.
Hide.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hide.
I'm hiding.
There's no one here. There's no one here. There's no one here. Just kidding. Hi, dreams. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
It's kimono. No, oh no.
Job cut stash? That's not good. With the holidays, though, there should be lots of jobs everywhere. It might be
Lots of
temporary,
jobs.
but it might be temporary, but at least you can get your foot in the door
We're
somewhere,
not
maybe.
on camera, but Dream, this is for
It's
you.
hefty, by the way.
That's a hell of a
Hefty, hefty.
hell of a statement right
Hefty. I'll show you here in a second.
there.
No, not that way. The other way. She's dude, not that way.
Cool.
Come on, I was like, I'm drinking my wine.
Yep.
Can I just say your sticker?
Sticker. I barely met her.
It looks. Oh, no.
Sticker, barely knew her.
Your sticker is a cracking coaster, by the way.
It makes a good coaster. That's what you keep telling me.
It's a cracking coaster.
Oh, I had.
Ah.
I don't need a coaster
Oh, that's how it. Okay.
because I'm a rogue.
Also, I never knew you fucking felt like that about me. I'm like, oh yeah, here comes fucking Aiden. Jesus Christ, hide away.
I was kidding.
No, it's cool. I understand.
No, I gave you more hands afterwards. Don't even. I shared the love.
Look,
He gets very emotional if you don't like.
Ah.
I wanted. I know when I'm not wanted. It's fine. Let's go.
Dude, I want you. Right
I'm
now.
only joking. I'm only joking. I'm just trying to get a reaction. Let's go.
Guys, where's my
Mhm.
batteries at?
Oh, for
Your
your
batteries.
For your.
What are we talking about? Your batteries for what?
Well, it's
Okay.
classified.
My cube, my glowy cube.
Okay, good. We're just gotta clarify because it's, you know, golf night and people are weird.
No, mine are no.
And
No, that's rechargeable.
I'm only 13.
Welcome to Golf with Friends, guys! Or enemies by the time the night's over.
13,
We'll find
come on.
Give me a second. I'm going to go look for my batteries.
out.
That's what she said.
It's probably the last place you left. Yeah.
Well, Dream, join golf or else you're fired. You're fired.
So, trying to recruit people. I'll see who comes in here.
I have 0 friends.
Well, I kind of didn't post when I was actually live. I posted earlier that I was gonna be live. But
It was a joke. Well, I have 0 friends.
Let's see.
What's the password?
Your mom.
Password.
Is that actually?
No, it's called.
You know?
I know.
No, she changed it to your mom.
I did not change it. You know, there you go. Perfect. You got it.
Look,
Just
stupid.
the Uber top secret password that nobody knows.
It's very classic. Like I said, you have to have your eyeballs scanned. You have to get.
It changes every hour. Just kidding.
Look stupid, act stupid. Definitely
No.
not stupid.
No.
Well, maybe
No.
like 50%.
Nah. Nah. You're smart. Let's see.
How's you got? I've seen photos of you painting, by the way.
Oh yeah. I haven't finished it. I need to finish
Oh,
it. I don't even know
Titanic
where it
one?
is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Actually, it's not even in this room right now.
That shit was sinking.
It's in the other room. I don't even know how that happened.
It looked awesome though. Just passing on that message. Looked
Thank you.
I really should get like if I get into my new house, I really want to have like a man cave, but at the same time I want to have like a wee style.
So I'll be there, and then you can be
Art style.
upstairs.
I'd love it. Mate.
Shane's in here. Dream's in here. Are we ready to go, guys? I think we got enough people.
You're expecting to be getting let out. You're expecting to be getting let out of the bedroom.
I know.
I
You
mean,
want me in the bedroom all the time.
buddy. We got swings. Yeah,
Alien.
we'll be fine.
Anyways,
Okay, I'll keep you occupied.
honestly, how much my brain just wants to just go. It's not my screw.
Oh no. Yeah, I have to keep it down a couple octaves. Due to there.
PG-13 and below.
But we are in the live 18, so
Yeah, I know, exactly.
I'm kinda
18 years old, I was barely voting. Like, come on.
I'm kind of thinking I got free reign. You know what I mean? When it comes to like
It's
the
not
live 18
plus
kind.
30.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Would you just knock me down a peg? Thanks, Michigan.
No, plus 30 means that we can just talk about our experiences in life.
Yeah. Ladies, fucking health course, whatever the fuck he's on.
Right. I think I can do that.
Anyways, I think we got enough at least for the first round, I think.
There's like new tags for your stream now. I updated my classifications. Sexual themes and intoxication.
Are we live?
What is this world coming
Yes, we are live.
Okay.
Well, you put
I'll be
intoxication,
quiet.
or
I'll be quiet.
intoxication.
to?
You should though, because I am always sober.
I think the mature status is always up there anyway, but they like you to actually add extra labels now, which I'm sure just means you have less ranking on the total amount of viewers you're gonna get. But it's Friday. It's
To
not
be
about
fair,
the
though,
viewers.
it's fact.
It is about the viewers. It's about the ones that choose to show up and be here. It's not about like
No, she wants viewers.
growing and expanding. It's about spending time with my friends and family that are here. And if you want to become one of my friends and family members, then cheers.
See, I like to refer to Friday as no fucks Friday, in the sense of
Yeah,
you don't care. You know,
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Well, it's a We're.
Be yourself. Be
Well,
yourself,
I would love to be
Friday.
myself, but
within
Yeah,
reason,
yeah.
though, within
yeah,
reason.
there is a.
Yes, yes.
Please tell me
How
there's no
sweet.
AAA batteries
Thank
and
you,
not
Shane.
AA.
All right, you're back. We're gonna hit
Oh, no,
start.
not Sean.
I mean, you can hit start. I'm still distracted, but it's fine.
You're always distracted. It's okay.
Always.
No, because he.
I mean, it's so hard to
you
single
put in
task
batteries-
anymore. I get it. Multitasking
He
is like
put
the
in
new norm.
batteries into her. Holy.
And we're spinning,
I am.
spinning.
This is where you find out
It's her Tesseract.
fire alarm.
She's putting batteries into her
Those take
Tesseract.
9 volts. I need a AAA battery.
Oh,
I don't know.
I messed that up already.
I gotta put batteries in this cute little thing.
Yes, that's what I would say.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Shane, welcome.
You guys are making things awful and making it sound lewd. And now Shane's here to keep you guys in line.
Yo, y'all are in trouble.
He made that one last night.
Y'all are in trouble. The boss is here.
I'm just trying to put batteries in my ball, okay?
Yeah, like I said.
It's just batteries.
No, he's here to make sure I buy.
It's all good.
I already
Is
have
the
to.
golf game too loud? I don't think it is, but I think it's just
I
loud
got
for me.
two holes in one.
I remmed it.
Stop giving.
Oh god, I definitely. What? I
Ah!
didn't get it!
Hole in one. Woohoo!
I did not. I have no idea what you're talking
It
about.
wasn't me. I was in.
Does that mean you say you got a hole in one, lady? Because someone knocked you?
No.
Let's see how this.
That's
Meow.
a hole in one for me. I do better drunk.
You are winning. I got 2 holes in one, but you're winning.
That's what she said.
No, the thing is, I think too much when I'm sober.
Yeah, you do. You think too much in general now.
I'm gonna turn these guys up. I don't think I can hear
I
them.
my brain works.
Come again?
Bye!
Yoke.
Take care, love you.
Have a good time. Bye-bye.
We cannot hear Shane.
That's
I'm gonna
the-
turn everything up.
Oh yeah, I had to turn it up a
turn
little
him
bit.
up. Yeah, turn him up because
Turn up
I know the
nice.
battle.
I'm gonna turn everybody else way down.
Holy fuck! I have a ring job.
I'll show you.
I almost got a hole in one. That was so.
Dreams, did you get a hole in one?
Oh no.
Proud of you. Proud of you.
I rimmed it. Is that good?
Well, it's
Yeah?
second best.
Second best. You're the first loser.
Going for the wrong hole. Going for the wrong hole. That's my
lady,
goal.
what you show me?
Aw,
Oh.
are we gonna be like right on the edge? Yeah, I messed up my good score there now.
I don't know what to make of that. I'm an absolute fucking jealousy, and I think that that's fucking incredible.
She has a Tesseract.
She fucking does.
I don't crush her.
That is OP. You needed that for your party when you dressed up as Loki.
I know!
You need your Tesseract.
And fucking Chance forgot about it and didn't bother to tell me.
You know what? You're just gonna like dress up as Loki every year and get better and better at the costume.
Yeah.
Get it.
Like you're gonna have his staff thing one year. What's the staff thing called?
That is a scepter.
Yeah.
The
But I
scepter.
have to take
Yeah.
it apart in like several pieces because I have a plastic casing and a blue casing.
Not even has a case.
I'm gonna make friends with him in real life.
Yeah, and I have to.
Oh god, that's bright.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is. I gotta find the button again.
does also look like Iron Man's fucking heart shit.
No.
Yeah.
Michigan, did you not get a hole-in-one this time?
Dude,
Whoa.
that's 2 times I have not gotten a hole in one.
Whoa.
But yeah, I got a tech track.
You're still ahead of me. I've got it 3
I'm so
times.
happy
Or
for him.
not got it 3 times, or something like that.
$5 later.
Oh wow.
How much?
75.
What?
To be fair, the Tesseract and Loki were $70, and the other 5 was Pokemon cards.
You know what I could do with $70?
Ouch.
Get groceries.
I caught a
I
Pokemon.
bought groceries. I bought myself dinner tonight.
No actual groceries, like.
Well
I
done.
did. I cooked my dinner.
Well done.
I didn't order it out. I cooked it.
Yeah, she did. She made a salmon.
Is that a normal thing for people in the States when they order out? They just because it's cheaper to order out than
No,
what it is?
no,
Fuck
no,
no,
it's not
cheaper to
normal.
order
It's
out.
not, it's not normal.
Oh, okay.
Well, in some places it is. It's not cheaper by any means. It's just more convenient.
No.
Yeah,
It's
for me,
very
it's definitely not normal.
common bad habit for all of us to want to eat out because it's just easier and
But yeah.
saves time, but it's not healthier and it's not cheaper.
Hole-in-one on that one.
I mean, I'm pretty
Lady
sure
just
there's probably
screwed
gonna
me
be
up
like
with
some
another
things
stroke. Couple strokes.
that are like really healthy food, you know, when you order it. But
Mm-hmm.
to some extent,
Dude,
like you
I
might be paying
sleep
like
at
$7.
McDonald's.
You might be paying $7 for like a fucking, I don't know, fucking salad of some sort, right?
I paid $7 for my fillet of salmon.
GG.
And how much salmon in the supermarket? Like as a comparison, like I'm just trying to kind of get a general idea
It's
here.
a 6-ounce fillet.
You went in the hole right
No,
there.
what I mean is like regardless, like whether it's 6 ounce or whether it's fucking 2 ounce.
Come on,
If you
go in the hole.
if you were to
No, I don't want to go. You can't make me.
if you were to buy a
Oh, no, I
fillet of
thought
salmon
it was
like
good. I
as a
didn't know it was
dish
good.
from a restaurant or whatever it is, your local restaurant,
Trying
and
to
it
do a
costs
thing.
like fucking $19, right? Whatever how much it costs.
Oh, God.
Then how much?
Well, they have more
Like
inflation.
if
Yeah.
you buy it and you make it fresh, for instance, like you go down to the supermarket, you go and get a fillet of salmon. roughly
Oh,
the same
way too much heat.
Like, is
I've
it?
been able to get that in a while.
Does it cost
You're
roughly
Tyler.
the
I think it's
same?
like under 1.
No, it's cheaper.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I got robbed.
$10 for this fillet, and I already had the lemon pepper at home.
That's
I
a
just
lot.
put lemon pepper on it, threw it in the air fryer, and called it done.
Cost. If you were
Well,
to do that.
Green went in the hole, I think. Yeah. Fast.
$10.
And how much it cost if you order it?
Not this hole.
Way more because I'm not going out.
No! Welcome, 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 welcome! Hi, Kimona! Heya, heya, heya!
I think, like,
Dude,
How are you? Ah! Oh my god.
You steal my
Come on,
you women.
somebody-
me being on my own, I cannot justify ordering.
Pyong. I don't even know what's going on here. I don't know how I did that. I got distracted. I saw snowfall in chat and I got distracted. You're
Quit
sleepy?
cleaning the hole tomorrow, though. I'm trying to get
Hello,
help.
hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Am I the last guy?
Hi everyone. How are you guys doing? I hope you have an awesome Friday.
Dream, you better.
I hope you're both having an awesome Friday, and I know I am. I'm so glad the work week's over. And those are super cute
like,
little
if I go to the
boxes.
restaurant, a lot of times we'll
Love
get
them, love them.
a salmon fillet, probably, I don't know, probably about 300, 400 grams.
See what they do.
Portion, something like that, maybe. Maybe a little more. It comes with like
We're talking about salmon.
like a side, like a couple sides, and it's a good $13 easy.
Not
But this
really
is
where I
the
want to
thing,
be, but not bad.
All you are talking
Oh,
weight.
you gonna
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how much it costs for
That's how-
this.
That's
No,
how
I-
much it costs for us. Like, everything.
I get it.
I was so glad I got those Arctic
get it,
box
and I
emotes.
understand that,
I
but,
love
like,
them.
if
They're
it goes to
beautiful. I love the color.
by
It
weight,
matches
I
your
just kinda do it
your
by,
name
like,
color so well.
Let's say the menu says it's like an 8-pound
Those are
steak
so
or something like
cool.
that,
What are
and
you guys
it's
playing
like
lately?
Girl
fried.
math it.
What's that?
Girl math it.
What are you guys
I
playing
mean, it's
lately?
definitely not fucking
Tell me,
free,
tell me,
that's
tell me.
what you're saying.
Do you guys play golf?
It comes out my pocket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Dreams.
girl math is where they try and
You have the
validate
goofiest little
how you
bird
something
turkey
might
thing
be
on your
free.
head, by the way.
I mean, it's free if it comes from my credit card. It's free if it comes from my fucking.
I was gonna say, I think I got that today too. Did everybody get that crazy
I don't do
birthday?
it that way.
Oh no, wait, I was stuck on it. Me? Yeah, what do you play,
This
Snowball?
is 25%
What are you
off,
playing
so I saved
recently?
£50 and I can spend £50 on something else because it's
And
free.
Kithron
It's
too.
not.
What are you
It's
playing
still
recently?
fucking 200 quid,
Dream,
mate.
get in the hole and then we can talk.
Sorry.
Yes! We're just watching your little guy bobble around and we're waiting on it.
My
No,
bad, I apologize. I was.
hasn't
Get
played
in
in a
the hole
while.
and then
That's
you can
okay.
talk.
Okay.
Sometimes people just don't have time to play or just not in the mood to play. Sometimes you just want to hang out and watch other people play. Oh no, I didn't give it enough heat. Oh, Shane, thanks for trying to help me, but it didn't help.
I didn't jump at the right time. Dang it.
It tastes like pumpkin pie.
Playing Persona 5 Tactic last night for the first time. I saw that, and I saw you play a lot of Stardew as well.
Pumpkin goat cheese.
Ah.
I didn't actually get to see your
Nobody
gameplay
hit-
last
nobody
night, but
hit
I saw
it.
you
It's
play
weird, this
Persona 5, and I saw you play Stardew. I think we talked about Stardew one day.
From Yankee Candle.
game. Oh, the Squincy. I love you, Squincy.
I have slept since then.
Are you coming to give us some math lessons?
Split!
Yes.
Come show us your wonderful system of measurement.
Oh no, not again.
Let's talk about senpais and happenings, and let's get started in playing this game correctly. Now that Splits is here.
Please no.
I need to get back into streaming.
I'm so
Yeah,
excited
yeah, yeah.
about this.
Streaming is
It
fun.
literally just smells like it's pumpkin cream cheese.
Okay, now I'm really confused.
Oh, it's
Oh no,
pumpkin
he's
goat
smelling
cheese.
cheese.
Yeah, pumpkin goat cheese from work. And it smells and tastes like.
So, 2 senpais, right, Splits? Is it 2 senpais or 1 and a... maybe 1 and a half? And Michigan's in the way! Tell Michigan to give his smidgen of a yeet. Smidgen of a yeet. Okay, fine. I'll help you. I think I just heard both of us.
I believe
No, you just did a very. Well, we are a whole. I don't know the whole thing.
You and your friends like the modded version of Stardew, and we also play golf with friends in the past week. I get too carried
Oh,
away
we
on
only got like
Fridays with
5 more holes or something like that.
golf with friends or bingo, depending on what I'm up to. I tried scheduling painting for Fridays, but then I was just like, no, Fridays is like my high day, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I really want to finish that painting, but at the same time, it's am I like, let's celebrate that I made it through another week of work, and I want to hang out with my friends and play some games. So here I am,
Yeah,
Friday.
since we have like 5 holes, it's not gonna last.
She's like
She's talking to people.
I gotta turn some. Oh my god! I turned splits up, yeah, which is not what I said.
Oh, I would turn them up too.
You definitely said turn them on, didn't you?
No, I said I gotta turn up
Oh,
simps.
I'm gonna turn 'em on, too. Hey,
I heard
Squincy,
what you
I'm gonna
said.
turn you on.
I heard what you said, mate.
Splits.
Oh, she's gonna turn up the simps? Alright, if I had that dial, I would turn them up too.
That was a full-on turn up.
Yeah, that was something. I don't know what that was. That was a words are hard moment.
Yeah.
The thing is, I
You
shared,
said-
Try and validate your excuse.
I shared hotel with him twice. And,
Right? Snowball? Yeah,
no,
yeah.
He's huge.
You and Michigan, you guys can have your little whatever.
It's an inner joke.
Do you know I fucked up twice and still got a wee tweet.
Let's see, what do we want to do to chat? We're gonna just like
Whoa, don't hurt her.
I'm not hurting the bot apparently.
What?
Splash snowfall. It's just gonna turn to ice. It's just gonna turn to ice. That's what's gonna happen.
Let's go.
It's gonna turn to snow or ice if it even gets near you.
We're close. For those
I'll be back
interested.
in a few. Sorry.
For those interested.
Okay, good luck.
From
Join us next game if you can.
It's
No,
3.5
he's
each.
on mute.
For those interested, it's 3.5 each.
True,
Get
true.
yourself off
I know-
the fucking target board. And
I
up.
know splints like the back of my hand. Because I
We
don't
have
see my back of my hand.
hugs. There you go.
Dang it.
I was gonna say, is that
Hugs
just
to make it.
familiar with the back of your hand?
It was.
Hey, don't look at me like that, lady. I'm not joking.
Ah, you
Splint's is
guys.
actually my best friend ever. Gosh, BFF.
Use momentum. Oh, I didn't get it. You get it. Momentum carries the sun. Well,
I've been in the hole for so long, I was just waiting.
Survived a hurricane this year, but it's still unusually hot. Oh no. Well, I'm glad you survived.
Oh, dude, I Kobe'd that. Hold on.
That is an achievement.
can't do it the way you do.
That's what all the guys say.
Hole in one.
Yeah, birdie.
Oh, that's a
Drop
cutie
off the
mom.
back wall.
The head cat
Let's
stuffs.
go that way. I'm going that way. It'll be easier.
Looks kind of like head scratches. Yay. All the head scratches.
Mate, I'm gonna have a great time with my nuts in my hand.
Cool story,
Nuts.
Brett.
Nuts.
Uh oh. See, what did I click on? I clicked on something weird, and I know it's you guys. There you are.
You clicked on your own Discord.
I did, but I clicked on something. Not seeing in the screen I wanted to see.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Did you swish that? I got a birdie. Yep, hurricane. Lydia. Glad Otis didn't hit us though. Oof.
I'm tied with.
Oh, I guess I could have used it.
I'm glad you are safe.
Not enough legs.
Hurricanes are terrible.
Yeah, I'm tied with Kimono. Kimono,
Did
can
you
you go to the
eat
bathroom?
with me? I can't join an in-progress game, so I'll be here for next time.
Is this a full year?
Yeah, it'll be very soon. Don't worry.
No,
Everything-
problem. No
We're
problem.
on the last 18 hole.
Yes.
Is this full?
Don't hit me.
Okay.
Kimono,
God,
Kimono,
gee,
thank God Kimono got hit.
so close to not getting hit.
Beating up on the streamer? What's up with that?
Nope.
This bothers me, man. I fucking hate
No,
this.
Kimono's my only
Hey,
competition.
hey, watch
No.
watch your
You
Scottish.
missed. You missed. Yes, look at these muscles.
Skate.
I'm gonna go cry. I think.
Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry.
I was winning, and I thought.
We're stuck on cam mode with Dreams in a hole, wiggling his little ducky self around, or bird self, or turkey self. I'm not even sure what it is. It's a turkey.
I don't got it tonight.
I just had to go with that.
I lost.
Hey.
because I got cocky.
Oh, are we tied, Michigan?
No, you won. You won. Congratulations.
It says we're tied.
I'm probably in third place now.
It says you're first.
I don't have it tonight.
No, I'm not first. That's for damn sure.
It says you're 37 and I'm 37.
No, that was last. That was before this
Last
whole-
season.
That was the last.
Oh, what?
The last hole we were 37.
Oh, 40 and 44. That was the last
Like
hole.
I said,
Okay.
when I tried to make sure you didn't win, I missed.
Well, nobody got 69, so nobody won.
Is that no, that's a mug root
We
beer.
got
isn't it?
Christmas
I
pudding.
thought that was Eminem. I had one shot.
Ooh, 9 tails, guys. Catch if you catch a Pokemon.
What is it?
9 tails.
It's an A&W. I was close. Damn it.
Like,
Isn't
gave
it-
me the look of like, what the fuck?
She's
Hold on,
like
though,
a
isn't-
mug.
Hold on just a minute.
Excuse
Isn't that
me.
still root beer?
Yes,
Oh,
it
yeah,
is, but it's A&W.
is superior.
So, can I ask a small question? So I
No.
watch Beard Beard Meets Food, right? And he's a guy that goes from the UK over to the States sometimes to go and do these kind of eating competitions. Now, he always asks for something fizzy, and sometimes he often asks for
Fizzy.
like root beer. Does that taste like fucking
Scottish.
like deep heat? You know, like that kind of.
Deep heat. No, it tastes like root beer, bro. Have you ever
You're off. Have a good stream. Well, it was good to see you. Thank you for hanging out. And I I appreciate you being
You
here
go
and
to a
stopping
doctor,
in
you go
and
to a
saying
doctor
hi.
or a hospital or whatever, and you
And
can
I'm
smell
glad
that
you survived
antibiotic.
hurricane season.
You know what I mean? You can smell that.
That has
Hey.
nothing to do with that.
And I will
But
catch
it's
you
not
next
that
time,
much
Snowfall.
that
And I do
it
hope you
smells
stream again.
antibiotic.
I do.
I work at a hospital. I can tell you, I've never smelt antibiotic before.
Like that kind of antiseptic kind of thing. Like the
Probably just a different term.
No, it doesn't.
Hey, I called it Nine Tails.
the fucking disinfecting
Tails?
kind of smell
Mhm.
that hospitals have.
Yeah, Nine Tails.
Rudo?
Yeah, you can join the game now, Spons.
No,
Oh, wait, what?
I don't really drink root beer, so.
I don't see
Yeah.
anybody in my friends list. What happened here?
You have no friends. They all blocked you.
I've got
Just
no
kidding.
friends.
I was told
Just
by,
kidding.
by Beard that it's like a
I'll be your friend. I could probably invite you.
like an antiseptic.
Invite
It's like you're drinking
Lynn.
an antiseptic.
I never
Well,
heard of
friend.
it.
I don't drink
Invite-
antiseptic, so.
No, but the smell
Anyways,
and it's
Splints is, he's a great guy.
Stop.
Some people describe it.
Please stop.
I've heard some people
I
describe
love
it as
it.
like a medicinal
Yeah,
smell.
let's just not.
yeah, exactly like that.
But
Exactly medicinal or antiseptic or kind of this kind of antibacterial thing. That's to me what
things
it
that are
smells.
described
Alright, I
as
think-
medicinal, things that are described as medicinal smell,
Terrible.
and things that are described as disinfectant, those are not the same.
No.
I mean, don't
Not
get
even
me wrong,
close.
it doesn't smell like bleach. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm just
he
feeling
is
like
a nurse, so I think that's
Hey,
possible.
no, yeah, I'm more than willing to sorry.
And here we have the smell of medical and prescription
Getting a
things
little out of hand.
tonight.
If it smells
on a
like
Friday
tiger
night.
bone, I'm all about it.
That's normal for you though, mate. So that's,
Yeah. We were just trying to keep you a little level.
Tiger bone.
I like it. I love it. I love it.
As we enter Candyland, let's talk about your favorite type of candy versus your medical sniffing.
Quarter pound.
I just
Sniffing
wanna
needs
win.
what?
I
The
just
best
want to
way
win.
to slice ham.
She's got to eat her own ham because she sliced the back.
I'm all about the
Slice.
sour Haribo bears
Oh, you got the
and
I didn't even
black licorice and peanut butter cups and dark chocolate.
Let's just play the whole.
And definitely these ice cream sandwich track rail things. Those make me want ice cream sandwiches every time.
Not even.
dang it.
To get in this hole, it's a little bit more than 2.5.
Okay, so that jump at the end. Or you just let it rock.
Roll, jump,
Talking about
rock.
Two and a half down the middle.
I went 2.5.
You all be saying some stuff.
I'm just saying whatever comes out of my mouth, which is
I'm
dangerous.
just gonna eat this, guys.
Blaze gonna get all day.
I turned down the music a little bit.
Everywhere he finds.
You're talking dangerous words, pal.
That way people can actually hear you guys. Which could be scary.
Wait, I need to open up.
It's not a straight up fucking 2.5.
Okay,
have your
Scottish.
No, no.
It's not.
It's 3.25 yeet.
3.25 yeets.
Full yeet.
Hold on, where is our bookkeeper?
She is missing in action. I tried so hard to get our bookkeeper here.
Yeah, thanks. I've now just got like fucking 8 strokes. Cheers, pal.
Cheers, pal. Like what?
I
Kimono.
can't believe I'm only 2 ahead.
No, not Kimono.
Lady knows our competition. She's just like,
What?
Fuck this guy.
Hold
What?
on.
Bruh.
God.
Oh yeah, I bet you did.
I-
Alright. How's that suit you? Is that right?
How did I hit
No,
another
that's not
ball?
good. I
Yeah,
missed
you
my
actually
first
did this
shot.
course
That's
correctly.
really not good.
Oh!
All the things and stuff.
It's full. It is full yeet.
I missed my second shot.
Full yeet.
What? This is my
Do
worst
it.
I've ever had.
That is
Yeah, I
the
wish I
best
had
I've
done
ever
that the
done on
first
this
time,
hole.
because now I can just.
What's that?
That didn't
You got a
work.
hole?
Hi.
No,
Aye,
God,
aye, aye.
but I usually do awful on this one. I can never do this one correctly.
Hey,
I've
took me
always done
5
this
strokes.
correctly until this time.
Yo.
I can't normally get like these kind of.
That was really bad.
Right, but I mean, I just went full
I
yeet.
had the hardest time on this one. I don't know why.
Down the middle, full yeet, and it fucking brings you right out there.
Bro.
That was pretty good advice. Look at that was pretty good advice.
Works, huh?
I wasn't quite full yeet though.
Yeah, Kimono is,
Didn't need a full yeet.
Kimono is finding her holes tonight, like nothing.
Oh, no, no,
How am I still ahead when I like did really bad?
No, you're just better than us.
No. No. I did not. I tried to roll in Michigan and I failed.
I think we're full yeet.
Well, I found that hole.
It's not a full yeet.
It's not like three.
Ah, I missed it. Dang it.
Yeah, you gotta wait until it goes on the left and it's like halfway underground.
I don't know. It was good when it was on the right. I just wasn't ready.
Yeah, I got it on the right.
That's what he said.
Okay.
See? Hi, Michigan. Best buddy.
Yeah,
Best
well,
pal.
That was a good push, by the way.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
push it.
my god.
Teamwork makes a dream.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
What?
How did that happen?
Grays.
Hey, I said be nice.
What'd you get?
I can't get it that side, so I have to go the other side.
Did you get a hole in one or something weird?
No, he's still on the
Everybody's
map.
got a little.
Oh.
No, I got through
no.
the cookie, the ice cream sandwich thing,
I
but
got-
then I got pushed back into the hole.
Y'all guys can just-
and it flipped me off the
Oh.
course.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You guys can just go to the right there, yeah.
Anyways,
You're not being
I
very
got
nice.
through the first cookie, and the second cookie is like.
Push on through to the other
Cheers.
side.
So anyways,
It's not good. I didn't do well.
anyways, cheers everybody, and let's all be on the
Cheers.
same page.
Or me not in first anymore.
Sanjiva.
This is the first time.
You
I
No,
just-
I
really
messed
did.
up. Now I gotta go down the slide because I got too close.
Oh, actually, that might work.
No, it's because you went and then hit me.
Oh, I
No,
know.
I ended up
But,
in
but,
the
but, 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 but I just wanted the touches.
Just to let you know. Just to let you know.
I just wanted the touches.
Oh, I ended up in the grass
Whoa.
again. In the grass again.
You're doing it on purpose.
Oh, I did it one more time.
One
Gotta
more
get
time.
out of here, well.
Ah!
Oh,
Joe.
you got in the middle. Little bit more strength.
What was that?
There he is.
Oh, notification.
Oh, there he is.
I'm on it.
What?
Or not.
I heard noises.
I don't
No,
remember.
7.
Loud noises. I gotta share my burps because I can't share them with Dalton since he abandoned me this week.
You're Dalton.
Number 69.
Oh my god.
All I wanted was touches when I got 69 instead. So,
Drink. Key number.
yes. Cheers.
We're very first at 69 here.
Take it.
You almost helped me there.
I almost did.
I
Sorry.
got a hole in one, so I'm gonna get it.
That is the same fucking shot I just used in the plate. Someone's not in front of me. No, they're not. Okay.
You're all alone, but
There.
Totally all alone.
I'm so wrong.
You are not alone.
Oh, so wrong.
Oh, no, no. Why didn't I give it a full yeet? I didn't give it a full yeet.
Aren't we all?
I had like this deep urge to like barricade the door on Wednesday night.
With a gun.
We were
like,
talking about this. We were talking about this. For your neighbors and shit. Mate, I was generally
We did.
100%.
No. This is a different.
yeah, and either
This is a
or-
different. What the heck?
I told you,
Either
Kimono,
or.
I've done the same thing fucking 3 times. Doesn't
I
get
feel like I never had this problem
Go
before.
more to the right. Go more to the right.
I
Oh my
don't
goodness.
usually don't have any problems. I usually get a hole in one.
I got a
First
hole in
day
one.
being on my own in a year.
Hey, sometimes,
Debate.
Kimono, sometimes one day you'll.
I'm still in last, don't
Right
worry.
now, out of town.
Can't have it the way I want it every time.
How?
Yeah.
how
Some
much
days you'll
do
have a
you
hard time.
literally
Okay.
going to fucking just
Somebody have
pause
one
it
with.
to be like,
Oh, I'm gonna get in the hole first.
I
Please.
know.
just
Oh.
I'm in the hole.
yeah, fake.
I
Yep,
remember
that was funny.
situation, don't worry.
Yeah, like I'm fucking
That was real funny.
livid the fact that you had to go through it, but at the same time,
But
kind
that's
of like
not. That was not the situation on Wednesday.
Either or. Let's talk about.
Wednesday happened
Let's
to be
talk
my
about
first day.
Let's talk about balls.
Let's talk about you and me.
shut
Let's
the
talk
fuck
about
up, Michigan.
baby.
It's not me.
Stop. Stop.
Yeah, but Dalton
She's
went
eight.
to Pennsylvania for the
Well,
weekend.
yeah.
Croatia.
Huh?
In Croatia? Yes, absolutely.
Is it Croatia? Pennsylvania? Is that?
No.
No, not
Oh,
like
Croatia is a
not,
country.
Pennsylvania is just slightly north of me
yes.
in Maryland.
Don't go too far. Don't go too far. Don't go too far.
You've got
I
your
don't
pencil.
know.
Okay, okay, okay.
The American shit. We're fucking American. And we don't got past
Did it. Did it.
Monty, no.
That's kind of sad, actually.
No,
Mine's
because we're
probably-
so big that we don't need to leave.
We're so big.
I've never gotten
I'm
a chance
so
to. Monty, go lay down.
fancy. But you
The thing
already know.
Lay down.
I mean, my
If I
passport's
wanted to
probably
go-
expired by
Kimono.
now, but I still have mine at least.
Kimono.
Never got one.
Hole in one. Hole in one.
Woo!
I'm gonna give you a hole in one.
Lay down.
Sorry.
I'm still in last.
I
I'm also not used to having a dog that I have to deal with on my own.
Ah. Yeah, so see that whole incident of like the other a couple weekends ago? Oh, jeez.
Ay, 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 ay.
Just let it go right now, please.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Anyways, I'm gonna get
But
in
you
the hole
already
right here.
know.
Oh, it's not the hole.
I'm
went
so
to-
Thank you so much,
fancy.
guys. Can I get some hype in chat for that sub? And the screaming goats.
Add it up.
Hype, hype, hype. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Crisis, for the 54 months.
Crisis, I love you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I still have all the Halloweeny emotes. I'm gonna have to change those soon.
No, they can stay forever.
Hype, hype, hype. Last
You
scene
are
playing
literally
New
like my
World.
sister.
Lay down.
Busted.
My sister loves Halloween.
You didn't
I'm
stream New
so
World though, did you?
busted.
Did you stream New World? Or did you just throw the last video game? You streamed it once? I didn't realize
Let's
that.
all enjoy each
Lay down.
other.
How did I not know that?
It's a half a yeet.
Yeah,
Because he doesn't
Kimono,
stream.
I know he doesn't, but he streamed New World after he didn't stream.
Kimono, that's 3 strikes there. You did the
I
same.
know, just don't even look at it. Don't look, Michigan. Close your
Don't
eyes.
Look at it.
Close your eyes. Yes, just like splits. Do that. It was so long ago.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Drink,
That's
what?
very
That's because I tried to stream while I was going through. Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. I forgot about that.
Man, that's some shit.
No, he's rubbing.
Oh, yeah.
It is very much this.
Nobody else.
I remember you setting up everything. Maybe that was like a test stream or something, or I was at work or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, cigarette ash. He smokes.
Right on, guys. Right on if you want right on.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But in saying that,
Bro, don't smoke.
I just knew New World was a newer game than when you were a streamer.
it's just
Oh no,
like
no.
the only thing that I really kind of give up,
Lady, I'm sorry.
kind of caring about is my fucking desk. If I'm totally honest.
Hey, you're sounding very
Hey, that was
Scottish.
some pretty cool parkour.
Anyways, yeah.
Little test stream, and then I just never had enough energy to do anything after that. Understandable.
I know his dream.
You can always try again, though, if you ever choose to. It's fun. Jeez, move it, move it, move it.
You only need a little
Just
bit.
kidding.
Just a little teeny
Nah, not my thing.
I'm not trying to be perverted.
You were good
I
at it
love
though
you.
when you did it. You were good at it.
Don't stop. Get it. Get it. You know you want it.
You were hecka funny. I was terrible. What do you mean? No, you were not. You were a good streamer.
Nah, you're just stupid.
No, you weren't. Well, maybe streaming alone, but I only ever caught you
Yeah,
streaming with like
stupid.
groups of people, and you guys were also entertaining.
Yeah.
Ryan has been caught by KimonoKat. Maybe that's what it was. I only ever saw you streaming in groups.
I'm still in the house.
And to be fair, you were probably 3 sheets in the wind each time.
I don't.
That is a saying that I can even get on board.
I don't drink.
So it was super entertaining.
Like,
I'm terrible.
"Shoes to the wind is a fucking incredible fucking saying.
Whoops.
I got in too. Hell yeah.
Yeah, boogie.
Oh, I'm having issues. I just wanted to go down the slide.
I'm having issues.
Now I'm gonna go over. Nope, nope. Finally going down the slide. Took me 3 tries. More power.
She
Thank
always
you.
loves this poop slide though. She always.
I
does
do. I'm trying to perfect the slide, and I'm just no good at it.
slide.
Now slide, baby, slide.
I struggle. Okay, Michigan, don't make fun of me.
Bro, I'm like 10 points behind. It don't matter. You're good. I still don't. Y'all just going straight for the hole, but you're
I
crazy.
got
Yep.
all one, so that's what I did.
Oh, Michigan, the electric slide.
Say,
I don't get hole in one a lot. But
The electric slide. It's like a wedding song to dance to, or a reception song.
Okay.
Pretty.
Oh no.
The electric slide. This is a chocolate pudding slide.
Slide, baby, slide. Oh, great.
Sorry.
Sing for us, Flynn. What are you gonna sing?
Not Barbie girl. I learned my lesson.
Oh, I'm a Barbie girl.
Those words were naughty.
It's fantastic. Life in plastic.
I'm made of plastic.
You can stick my
Wear
hand.
my hair,
You
dress
can
me
take me anywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I took offense to. I was like, what am
I
I
was-
supposed to be doing with that?
Well, it's about Ken, I think. I
Oh, Barbie, come on, Barbie.
That's
Okay,
good.
that was also weird. I'm gonna stop right there.
That's good. That was pretty good, actually.
don't know. Come on,
No! Stop on the edge! Yeah, that was the hard part to sing.
The sound close to the edge.
No. No.
just trying not to lose my head.
Come on, guys, let's chill the beer.
What? No, 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 it's your turn to sing now. It's your turn to sing now, Michigan.
Oh, is this one?
Oh, it's my turn.
You
Yeah, what did you sing on our last?
I'm so
All
wrong.
by myself.
Yeah, that was the weakest jump ever. I had the weakest jump.
Who hit me?
It was me because I had such
Oh,
a
I
soft
didn't.
hit.
Sorry.
Again, now it's get a hole in one on this
It was
one.
mine.
To be fair,
Stop
I hit
touching
Oh,
me.
yeah, you don't want to do that. Dude, everybody's just like launching. Like, yeah,
To be
let's
fair,
go.
I
Oh,
love-
I did it again.
I love dreams.
Oops.
Ball,
I
that
my
is
God.
did
crazy.
it
Hi.
again.
Oops.
You
I
played
did
with
it
my
again.
heart.
Got lost in the
Oh, come on.
Anyone here remember the cartoons? I don't mean like the cartoons.
I don't
The
remember.
cartouche?
Cartoons.
I can't even remember yesterday.
Like the band, the cartoons.
No.
Pull it down.
No?
Fuck off.
Oh, I
Heard
go
of 'em.
too far.
We go too far.
Too far in a generation.
I just want to get. There we go.
Dude, that's what he said.
That song's gonna be stuck in my head all day now. Oh,
Well, I'm glad that
You
the
got
song.
in my heart.
I sing this every morning.
It could be dark, so you're alright.
Wait,
I did
what?
not want to go up there, and I definitely didn't want to go back where I started from. Ah,
I sing
jeez.
that song every day.
Oh yeah.
I got a bar. I'm happy.
I didn't realize that was around.
Alright, Shane, we need a song. It's your turn.
Oh, I hit it too hard.
You want a song?
Yeah, and just start. Singing. I'll tell you what you really want. That.
What you mean, really?
I want up. I want up.
I want it.
What do you want me to sing?
I just anything that comes to your mind that is weird and catchy, like we're doing. I don't know.
Moving to
Just
the
ad-lib.
country, gonna eat a lot of peaches.
Tell you a song I want you to like sing to me the full way through. And I only know the one bit where it goes, "Better lock them doors and turn them lights
Oh, yeah.
down low." But I don't know
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole song. I don't know
She
the
would be
whole
good at
song.
that.
And I tell you what,
I can do that. I can do that.
Do it, do it.
And
Do it,
I
Shane.
can-
Turn them
I-
noises down
Yeah.
low.
I can get like low in the sense of like a tone, but
Get
I
low,
don't.
get
I
low.
don't know. I don't know the. Ludicrous, love it. But I don't know.
Rain, I think you've beat this one to death. Are you okay?
It's
Oh.
called
No, she's
it's called "Just to Be Your Man" by Josh Turner.
Yeah.
Just to be your man.
I mean, if you really want me to sing that, I can.
Do it.
Well,
Go
I
for it.
kinda
Tell
got
you
the
no.
accent for it already, so it kind of sounds appropriate if you don't mind me saying.
Okay.
No, no, no,
Let's
no,
see
no, no.
here.
Yes.
Oh no, yes.
Are you playing an instrument or are you just singing?
No, he can sing.
Just singing. I can't play an instrument.
Oh, okay.
Turn your hearts
Oh,
down
you're
low.
fucking vocal,
No!
aren't you?
Cancel.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah,
I
let
something
him
up?
do what he has to
Turn
do.
the lights down low.
Oh, love it.
Ah! I don't know where I'm going. I'm going somewhere.
Music on that's soft and slow. Baby, we ain't got no place to go.
There we go.
I hope you understand. I've been thinking about this all day long. Never
Very
felt
good.
feeling quite strong. I can't believe how much it turns me on. Just to be your man.
Hey,
They actually did a
fucking cracking vocals.
Dude, I was about to take my clothes off.
Dude, like,
what's
No, you guys.
yeah,
cool about this
especially
song?
fucking-
What's cool about this song is the original video for this with Josh Turner and his wife was like 15, 16 years ago. And a few years back, they redid the video.
Oh,
It's the
I didn't know that.
audio, but they redid the video with them, like, you know, as they are now. And they look just as attractive, actually more attractive now than they did then.
Yeah, they're older.
Well,
yeah.
I have the same issue, but we don't talk about
Jump.
But
So-
anyways, the thing is,
No.
yeah,
Mate,
that's
you
good.
got fucking cracking vocals. I tell you
Well,
what, you'd actually
confidence
be
is
for.
always a blessing.
There you go.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, you know me. I can't speak.
I think that you'd be really quite suited to sing Michael Bublé's. I know a lot of people fucking agree with this. Michael Bublé's.
I usually listen to Bounce, Baby Bounce.
What the fuck's it called? I'm sorry, man. Like I have this position where it takes me a wee while.
Michael Bublé. Oh no.
Yeah, sorry.
Booblies.
Of course
Why
you
do I
would,
have to look
Crisis.
around? Why?
Oh. Right.
Flynn's just believe in yourself and you'll get in front
I
of
was
the
doing
hole.
okay, but
Feeling
somebody
good,
knocked me
feeling
off
good.
the damn course.
Buddy,
Wasn't me.
Kabibli, feeling good.
I don't know who it is.
I'm in the hole already.
Yeah, you are.
I am also 13. Even I thought that way.
boogie. Who's got the nodding like pigeon?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I love his.
You love this thing.
I love his.
Dreams!
His
Come on! Not up there!
Chill, just chill.
That's new though, I've never been up there.
Dude, this reminds me of every.
You should have stayed in the water though. Like honestly.
Dream.
You're
Your
fine.
ball reminds
You're
me of
fine.
every
You're already
one.
there. Go up over the dirt hill, okay?
Yep, got the hill.
I don't think I've heard that song of Michael Bublé, but I do know the "Haven't
Jump,
Met You
jump,
Yet"
jump,
song.
baby, jump. Yeah, there you go.
Jim.
Jump around.
There we go.
Listen to it, and then you'll probably be able to do it.
Come on, look. Can you
Fucking
drop
15
down?
points behind.
Huh?
Can everybody push Kimono?
No! You guys just go.
Kimono, hydrate.
Dream, you're the one that
Cheers.
pushed me. We're not friends anymore.
Whoops.
I don't
I-
think there's
now
much
I'm out of
choice at this point in
position.
our relationship.
Yeah,
Oh fuck, that's a cave.
Whoops.
My bad.
I did it again.
I'm out of position now because of Dream.
Go, Michigan. I'm watching you.
That's 3.5 yeets, Michigan.
Get in the hole.
Yeah.
There's 3.5 yeets.
I'll give you 3.5. That was funny.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
How
I'm
did
in
that
it.
happen?
I'm in the. It said the Masons. I don't know what happened.
How did you get over there, Rain?
Got a birdie.
How did you get over there like that?
Did you already get in the hole?
You went under the thing? Oh, I didn't give it enough yeet.
I just went across.
Enough yeet.
I know, but...
Oh, just to laugh at her. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Please try and do Mecha Booblies.
Yeah, no, I've messed up my lead now.
Yeah,
And Michigan wanted to sabotage me. Well, I've been sabotaged.
Kimono, keep doing that though. Keep doing that.
But it's got such a lovely tone to it. He's not listening.
No!
No, this is awesome.
I still hear you.
Shush, Michigan.
This is awesome,
focusing
Kimono.
on
You're
the
doing
game, though.
such a
Shush!
I love it. This is actually. Tell you what, if you don't want to learn that, then learn Billy Joel.
There you go.
Honestly, I thought I did that.
Which one about Billy
I
Joel?
was experimenting. I'm trying to learn new things, and I failed. And Rain's like way ahead now.
On multiple levels.
Lady sucks. Who cheats
So
at this
just
game?
kind of.
No, Lady sucks at this game because she cheats.
Bye, Dreams.
Nobody hit her. Yeah, I'm just saying.
If you can't do
He cheats.
Mecha Boobly, then Billy Joel, she's always around.
No.
Yeah, you
Lady
should not
cheats.
go full send.
What is with it? Like,
Mhm.
I know songs by Billy Joel, but I don't know if I've heard this one.
Oh,
Now I can't hit because now it's doing some weird. Get off my ball.
Nope. It sounds like a personal problem.
I'm afraid to hit because it might.
Oh no!
I'm trying to win.
The big marbles got me.
Stop.
Can I hit the ball? Come on. I can't hit. I want to win.
I got out of your way, so shut up.
Anyways. girls, get away
Again,
from the ball.
what is with the sabotaging here? These big marbles are out to get me.
See, I went off
Holy
of her
shit!
ball.
I actually.
I
made
went
it.
off of her ball.
What
and
the
I-
hell?
I can't even make it onto the course.
I made it all the way
Targeting
through the
me.
balls.
I was winning until I went off.
Finally.
These two girls are right next to my ball. I was like,
Dang it. I'm just like gonna give up in a minute because this is ridiculous. I never have this much trouble.
I can't believe I made it through the gauntlet without getting touched.
He's in front of me. I had to.
There's a sword.
Just a little touch. Made it through unscathed.
I got a par. I hope I can win this.
Starts off with a little touch, Michigan, but it all
Ducklets.
fucking
I want a ducklet. Can I
I'll
catch the
beat you.
ducklet?
Anyways, let's see who wins. I want to win.
No pain, no gain.
The big brain Shelly.
I've been dead last the entire game. It's fine.
I think Lady Rain's gonna win. She's the pro.
If she wins, I'm gonna cry.
Take me.
She won. No, wait, no, Dreams won. Dreams won. He has 69.
Oh,
Nice.
actually,
Cheers.
I accept those.
You got sabotaged by Dreams. Poor Lady Rain.
Well, he's my friend, so I get half credit, so I win.
You can have credit.
Perfect for the season. I have a Christmas pudding for a hat now.
Splint, you said you want to just play space, right?
What? No. Hard one. That's difficult. Alright, I'll be back in a couple.
Okay. Let's see. Wait a second then.
Sorry, I'll be quiet.
Stretch break time, guys. Because I don't want to hit start and Splints is in the game. So we're going to give him a second to get back.
I was like, yeah, I can do like, for example, like Uptown Girl. She's been living in her uptown
Look,
world.
I'm not a singer, but I'm gonna give you a bit of a vocal, alright? I'm not a singer by any means, but I love this song so much that I think I can give a bit of a vocal.
Yes, yes.
In the worst that she could be, she's all on yourself, but she's always a woman to me.
I feel like I might have heard that song
Do it.
before. I feel like I might have heard it before.
Genshin is
Like
trolling
another
me.
one, or no?
It says I have not logged in yet today.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go.
Gonna go what?
No,
Oh,
I think I
I'm
had
getting the
Dream
limits wrong,
too
sorry.
loud, I think.
Probably.
I'm
You
taking
can turn
it.
him down.
I'll chill out.
I know I can. I realize
You
you
don't
guys
like me?
can hear 'em as well.
Sorry.
I mean, I adjust everybody individually as needed, so...
So he's at 10, I'm at 15.
My goodness, I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
What?
It's fine. Let's go.
No, he was talking about my own.
I'm the only.
Right?
Anyways,
Let's
Mel,
see.
it's your
Bro,
channel.
what are you eating?
Alright, we're gonna hit start.
Alright, yeah, it's your channel. You can always
I'll be
tell.
quiet. My bad.
people to-
Yeah.
No, you can tell me to.
I don't need it to... It's all
I
fine.
need to be quiet, so I might.
Bouncy castle. Let's go.
It's all bounce. Bounce, bounce, bounce.
Bounce, baby.
I don't know this that well, so I'm gonna.
To the right. To the right.
So that's fine.
Everybody move to the right.
Blink.
Aw,
Hole in one to the right.
I got too excited.
No, you're in.
To the right, James. To the right. Hole in one to the right.
You hit me, Spence.
Did you get in? Because I hit you?
James!
No, I got a hole in one. I got a hole in one.
To the right.
Dream is too
Hole in
busy
one to the right.
doing the hell.
Jumpy, jumpy, jumpy.
Get in the zone. I'm gonna give you.
It's like right there. It's right in front of you.
Hold on.
Come
No,
on,
I
we're all
do.
waiting for you, mother.
Hey, speaking of songs, since it's
I'm getting
speaking
Yeah.
of songs, since we're past Halloween now, we can start thinking about Christmas songs. What's y'all's favorite Christmas song?
No, Thanksgiving song.
It's
thank you
cold
for a
outside.
No, Thanksgiving song.
No, I'm sorry.
I
That's
called
like
that clip.
not an okay song anymore, is it?
No, I want Thanksgiving song.
I mean, it's a classic. I like it. I get the
Thank
reason
you
it's
for the
weird now. Hole in one, number 2.
I thank you for a
Yes,
good
sir.
turkey. I thank you for.
There you go, James. Everybody got a hole in one on that one. Yay, team.
For allowing me to be here.
Hey, we're all hole in one, people.
This one I don't know how to get a hole in one on. I don't know.
Just don't get blocked.
I don't know what the technique is.
Well, my friends never do this to me where they block me like this.
Oh no! Don't do that.
What you talking about,
I was
Willis?
trying to be PG at the same time.
I didn't realize you could accidentally shoot off the map.
Don't ever.
Oh, now I'm gonna hit the thing.
My friends will never be the blockers like this.
Okay.
Watch out for the big pink thingamajigs.
Yeah. No, to be fair, my friends are like, hey, have you met?
Hey, have you
I
met
messed
that-
up. I messed up. Now I'm way down the bottom of the
Well, we're
list.
both 6.
We're both 6. Wait, what? It's like way down there.
Tomorrow I followed you because it had a thing going.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay.
Yep.
I only have 6 seconds left, so
And
I probably
I
should just go the way that it is.
finally.
It didn't work. I messed
There we
up.
go.
I'm finding the holes.
And then I don't know how many bars is it Michigan for this one. So
I
3.
don't know. I'm not there.
We're gonna try 3.5.
I almost did it right in the hole.
Watch this.
He almost didgeridooed.
It's gonna be great.
Oh, yay!
Whoa, I went way too high.
Dude, I almost Kobe'd it.
3.5 is what I did.
I did 2 and I did 2.5 and I almost went in.
Oh yeah, you just gotta wait until the air vents get done and then go toward that pointy hand. Splints. Or that way. There you go.
I'm good.
Wow.
Come on.
You cheated. You did good. Did better than me.
I cheated?
What?
You took a shortcut.
A little bit closer to Kimono because I was on the hill already. So
Because you're a whack fucker.
I'll give you an answer. What?
I'm over here like, oh, you're Scottish, and I'm saying bad words too.
Nah, man. Fucking
No, man, I'm saying them.
Anyways, I love you all, but this is my channel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm in last.
Ooh, it's one of these.
Ooh, I loved it. Oh, I got hit.
I really don't love this. It's like
Reminds me of Fall
crazy
Guys.
taxi.
This is Fall
Yeah.
Oh god, I remember Crazy Taxi. That was such a fun game.
This is perfect. 3,
Ah!
2,
I don't like it.
1.
I messed up.
No. Yeah.
Why am I
Jump
going
on that.
soft?
No,
Go
Yeah.
hard.
Hmm.
That, I think. Oh,
Let's
I'm
see.
okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's a par 5, and I'm here in 3.
I could have like gave it a little bit more and maybe went up that hill, but that's okay.
I got double bogey, so that means I win.
Don't know what just happened, but it's okay. Okay. Par? A little bit more yeast. It would have worked.
You need a little bit more.
Let's go 2 from here. 2 from here. We're going straight up. Yeah, 2 from here.
I think you need a little bit half me.
It's not even the same hole I win it.
That's
no,
not the same
okay.
hole I went to. I am not mature.
I'm not the only one. Because
This is when I start
So,
to.
simple.
I'll take a bogey on that. I'm fine with this.
No.
So. Fuck.
Oh no. Nobody saw it. I didn't like go around the ring and come back to where it started. do that.
Never.
Yeah, never. Never, never, never.
I'm in last
So
place.
is,
You know what that means? I'm
Is Billy Joel an option or?
Ooh, the hole's way over there.
I just want to see the hole. I don't care about Billy Joe.
This guy's got fucking amazing, incredible vocal
I
talent.
got shut
I
up.
want to fucking what?
You want to what?
I don't know where I'm going.
Going with this.
He's like, I like it so.
I just like his fucking voice. Like he's an incredible singer.
Yeah, nobody's paying attention.
Amen. I was one over.
I'll fucking make
Whoa, that was too much.
Thank you. I
Whoa,
appreciate
whoa,
it.
that's what
I
she's doing.
come from a
I just
family
wanna
of
fall
musicians.
in love.
I just can't sing or play an instrument.
Cool and all that,
Like,
but-
I'm getting ready to be
There we go.
28, and I've been singing for, I guess, 20 years.
I've gone that way before.
So,
Wait, that's awesome.
The more you tell yourself you can, the more you can't.
I'm gonna let you in a small secret.
That's very true.
I say a small secret because
It is
I'm
no
doing
secret.
But
Kimono's coming up the ranks.
my auntie is the only person in Oban when she was part of a band that could smash a glass with her voice.
Ah,
She's just so high. And I know that sounds like a cliche and all that sort of shit, but
I'm not saying it's not a thing.
it fucking happened. No joke.
I mean, they did that on, shoot. They did that on Mythbusters one time where they actually filmed somebody breaking a glass with their
Yeah.
voice.
How
Some
high
of it
you've
can
got
be
to
done.
get?
It's very hard. It's just
Yeah,
very
you've
hard
got
to
to
do.
get like to the higher octave of C.
I don't know, but I mean, it was a man that did it on the show, so but it was still really high pitched.
It's like fucking
I usually shoot it with a BB.
that kind of shit.
It was
no,
like,
it's Marvin.
Fuck off!
Wow. Hello
Anyways,
to everybody
Anyways,
watching us
cheers.
whack them balls.
cheers everybody, and Kimono, I hope you're having a good stream and all that stuff.
Oh, 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 yes! All in one. Thank goodness. Cheers. I'll cheers to that.
Lady, you got it.
I actually did the when in doubt pinky out thing.
Got it. Look at Kimono beating my kid on the butt.
I don't know how I did it, so just know I don't know how I did it.
Oh, we're doing one of these.
I hate this thing.
I got a part. I'm happy.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, I didn't get a
To be
hole-in-one
fair,
Oh my.
we all need to get Kimono drunk so she plays less.
I mean, I'm working on it, but you know.
I'm just glad we didn't do that space one, because if you've ever seen it, it's brutal.
I hate it. I hate it. It's my least favorite map.
It is
There's a
so
few-
brutal.
There's a few maps I really don't like, and that's definitely up there.
Yeah,
We couldn't even figure out where you were supposed to go half the time. I'm like, what is up?
It was fucking disastrous. Normally, on any.
It was funny though, because most of us are pretty good at the forest map, you know, like.
Yeah, because everybody starts with forest, because it's easy. It's a warm up.
I never.
It's a warm-up map.
Fucking map was like I came out like 100.
Lady, that's the whole one.
Warm up map.
She didn't go home on that.
It was part 2.
Get
There's a one.
the fuck
Got
out of
one.
town. She wasn't even kidding. She wasn't even considering.
Right
Better not.
in
It.
there. And then across the way
I can't even
through
get
the
the little
bouncy shit. Jesus.
Poke catch, guys. If you catch a Pokemon, poke catch.
I was like, I'm in the hot air balloon.
I think I'm
Well,
going the other
I
way.
guess
think
I'll
I'm
just
going
take it.
backwards or just
Wait,
straight up
what?
and
You
down.
can't stay in the balloon?
I think I'm just going straight up and down, man. Fucking
This
sucks.
is when I failed.
Fucking
I'm no good at the balloon thing, so I just always go to the right, because I just can't do that. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna join you. I have no idea what's going on.
I'm just.
I have never succeeded at the balloon thing.
Whoa. I got black by lipstick.
crisscross and make it jump. Jump.
So close.
Okay, I've made a poor choice. I have to,
Did you try to go the hot air balloon route?
I tried way too many times to do the hot air balloon, and now I'm
Yeah, that's what gets you.
They're just smart to go right, and that's what they do.
Lady, how did
Some
you
people
get
have it
this
down and
high
can
over
do it,
the
but I
idea?
can't.
I'm not good at that.
Like, I just ended up in a place and then
Her
you were
ugly
there, and I was like, oh,
escaped.
there's
Nobody
the
caught it.
flag.
No, not the kitty. I wanted the kitty cat.
Where the fucking flag was. Nailed it.
Kimono's winning, by the way, guys.
No, I'm not.
Oh no.
How many points?
No, I'm not. It's a figment of your imagination.
Wait,
What
what
is
is
Mr. Matthews?
with this?
She was
I'm not witty.
Then I cried.
I'm so close to just the right amount of heat.
Keep being
No
injected by
fucking danger. No danger. Oh, okay.
Oh no, I tried to get up there when the wind was blowing.
Someone just hit me. I stopped.
Oh, what the? What? Where am I? Wait, no. That's not the flag. Is that the flag?
Having strokes, it took me to get there.
Whoa!
I didn't mean to get hit.
I got up there by accident. That was amazing.
Did you just say that means you get hit?
No!
Get ahead.
I did get a yes.
He's Scottish, he doesn't know the English.
This level reminds me of playing Worms back in the day.
a little bit.
I mean, there is a worms level, but that one's a pain in the butt too.
Oh,
That one
I
is too
hate Worms.
difficult. No, let's
I
not.
Like that was a TV show.
I mean, we can go for it if you want.
No,
Just
I'll quit,
saying, we can play worms.
No, I might cry.
Wardle?
No, I
Uh,
I'll play
worms.
Words with friends or whatever. But no.
I didn't mean to click that. That's a misclick.
You're a
I didn't even-
clickbait.
It bounced to me for no reason.
I think I'm dead.
Gosh, I gotta get all the way over there without.
Yeah, don't hit one of those signs. Pshong.
Oh no!
Intuitive, actually.
I tried too hard, and I
This
didn't
is
get
like
so
the
far.
business world over
You
here.
go full
Can't make it.
market. Full market.
Did it even matter in the end?
It really
Does
didn't.
it really matter anymore?
Oh wait, I might give you a little push. No.
Ay.
Oh, it didn't work.
Hard.
I'm just glad I
Don't
found this
stop,
before.
get it.
Don't stop getting it.
There it is. I'm one stroke over.
That's
Two
what,
strokes over. My bad.
that's what he said.
1, 2. Fuck.
1, 2, fuck.
Buckle my shoe.
1,
2.
2.
Meow.
Oh. You need a lot more to get across in here.
Oh, you stayed in. There you go.
Welcome to the hole.
Skills.
We've been partying the hole for a long time.
Do apologize.
You stayed in. All right, let's go.
Right, okay, let's go.
Oh, dude, it's got the weird dude in the middle. I don't know what to do about that.
The dude peeing.
Oh, wow, that's a fucking long goal.
I forget how to do this one, but I know I did it wrong.
I'm 13.
Went the wrong way.
Get out the fucking war.
I went the wrong way.
buddy.
I gotta do this.
Oh, I hit it a little too hard. Oh, nope, I did it again. Oops.
Well,
No! I went all the way back down the hill.
I
No.
Oh, actually made it in birdie. What the?
I made it in not birdie.
Yeah, I ruined it.
Like I said, Dream, I love your ball because it's very loose.
There we go.
It's got
Double
that cool,
bogey.
like wiggly bit.
Well, I was trying to be.
I messed up for you, Michigan. I hope that was good enough.
No, I'm in last place. I am actually in last place.
You did better than me though that round.
We got one round.
Absolutely cheating.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
The G spot, guys.
I went too fast.
No, it says G up there. I was just telling the facts.
I know, I got excited.
Okay.
Come on. G spot.
Oh no!
Oh, I got in the G spot. Oh, no.
I forgot to line it up.
This is a part two because you should have not messed up your first shot.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
and
should
then
get
now
like
I'm
a.
friggin'
Should get a hole in one on this one, but it's hard.
Yeah,
Well, not everybody can
I've heard that.
use the G spot. These are facts. Not just reading.
There's a lot of things on the way before you hit that.
Yeah, there's so many holes there.
Well,
I hate this one. Fuck
A
off.
lot of
the
lip-
hole
lip-
is like way around the corner and shit. What's
There's a lot of lipstick in front of us, guys.
that way, and then that way, and then it's through. What? What?
Somebody got in my way. It wasn't.
I'm gonna have it my
I
way.
fucking hate this shit. I hate this one.
I hate nothing.
I'm saying that. Okay, fine.
Yo.
Thank you.
Dang it. The fan blocked me.
I feel like I'm playing like washout.
Hit a fucking leg end.
Yo.
I got par because of that. Just let you know.
I
Cheers.
got not far.
Good choice. Appreciate it.
No.
I got 8 strokes. So.
Moving glasses.
I'm weak. I can't play from the pass.
There's glass. Cheers.
Jeez.
What?
What? Hold on. I can't.
Drink.
Can't even see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were.
There we go.
left in there.
Okay.
You didn't see what
I blame dreams.
thought you
I
were
blame
wrong.
dreams. Cheers.
What? You wiggled around between the. What?
I don't know. I'm 13.
I'm 12. Okay. Ladies catching up. Everybody watch out.
Yeah, because she's learning.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
We're all in the same hole, guys. Come on.
That's a trap.
Trap. Don't ever go right, left side. Don't go left side.
Don't go left.
We don't go left or
Right. Don't go
Is
right.
center the right one?
Don't go right side. Right side's bad. On the first
No, we go the middle.
Middle.
all the way.
Center.
Yeah, go
What an eagle. Birdie. Whatever.
Whoa. Why didn't I hit that hard?
Oh, because you hit the wind.
Yeah.
Dreams were flying all over the place. I just watched. I'm just gonna watch. So you guys figure out which hole's the right one.
Story of my life.
Oh,
I
yes.
wanna go-
Oh,
I
the
wanna
right
go-
one. The right
I wanna
one,
go-
guys. The right one.
The right one is the right
No, I
one.
got it on the right. I got it on the right, so.
Okay.
No,
Let's wait
I
until the
went
wind
in
stops.
So you got in the right.
Yeah, I went to the.
There go right.
I got in the hole on the right.
No, see, I went middle and got.
I fucking
No.
I said right.
don't want to go into the water.
I don't like
I-
right because I
No.
have to do an extra turn or two.
No, I did right though, and I got in. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You bounced all around, didn't you?
I did do right.
I
Probably
went
did.
I went middle.
Wind stop. Wind stop.
I
Yeah,
did
there.
right and I got in.
Again, I'm telling you, it's not.
They were there, Dream. You went right there.
I went
I did
middle
right
and
and I
went
got in.
right.
But if you go left, you're holding
I
goal.
never
You don't
said
go.
left.
You don't go full left. You never go full left.
Technically, you can probably go left.
I went right, but if you go
I went right because that's the only thing I knew.
In your hole and goal. As soon as you get in that fucking cavern, do it.
The only thing I know is I got. That's what it's going to be.
Call it now.
I've had too many beers.
Call it now. 3 1/4 years.
I went full and it didn't make it. I needed to jump.
Jump around.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I did.
Ah!
Oh shit. What the fuck is this one got?
I still didn't make it. What the?
Dude, I
Dang
made
it.
it 3.
Oh, nailed it. Hi, lady.
Hi.
I got a
I
birdie. on that one.
lightly.
I got a birdie on that one.
Well, it's pointing already up the way, so I don't think I want to go fully. But I will.
Yeah, maybe go a little left.
I
Yeah, that's
just
what I do.
rolled and
Go a little left.
3, 2,
How am I supposed to make it over there, though?
3,
Magic.
Jesus.
2.
Well, just hit. What I did was I did that.
Whoa, Spence, you just like took some big shortcuts.
At one
No,
point,
no, I
Yeah,
did
try.
the same thing. I did the same thing. I got a
Except
birdie.
it took me 3 shots to even get here.
I got a birdie.
Oh. Now steer a little bit to the left. Oh, and you have to wait until the spinner on the left
Yeah,
is
I
on the
thought I had
flat
it.
side. Wait till the splinter on the left it
I found it.
is got the flat side.
Here, I got one of these flappy things.
Oh, you got lucky.
No, that's skill.
You got hit. You got lucky.
It was skill.
Alright, this one's fun. This one's just full yeet. Go for it. I think there is a thing to get a hole in one, but I don't know exactly, and it's just like a minuscule difference.
You
But
just
I
call
don't know
me
what it is.
Shane, but I think
I got a
That's
Yeah.
That's fucking perfect. Shane, I actually have a fucking question for you. But,
Alright, James. Full yeet. Full yeet, James.
You go ever so slightly less. and
Ever
you
so
might get
slightly
more.
less, and you might swish.
I came really close to getting a hole in one, but then I didn't have it.
oh,
Yeah.
You're fine. Jesus.
See? You almost got a hole in one.
Michigan.
Slightly, slightly,
So-
slightly less, Michigan. Do it. Slightly, slightly. Oh, he's not listening.
He's like, what?
Michigan, slightly. No, he didn't listen. No!
He might get all
He
of
didn't
one either way.
listen. I know.
but I have a very acute
He still might get it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
see how
Get in the
I
hole.
need here, I need
Go to your home, like we said in Discord, right? Get in your home.
Are
You
you
have
too
a
good for
big
your
hole
home?
on. Look at the ball size versus the hole size.
I can hear it.
Right.
Big hole.
Get in your home already.
What's the tones of what I can hear?
Yay!
Yay.
Singer. No, I heard.
Kimono has won a lot.
Sung it
I don't
on.
feel
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Kimono
Oh,
cheats.
fine.
Drug test.
Alright.
Kimono, I think.
Alright, we're gonna do something
Accurate,
kinda
but-
easy. And we're gonna take a really quick stretch break, and then we'll do this one. So step away, grab your drink, stretch, all those good things.
Anyways, dreams.
Let's go, go, go! Break!
We're all gonna stretch.
I was having a conversation with Sean.
Alright. There you go.
Take care.
Hey.
Thanks.
Lounge.
bye.
Later. I'm gonna have trouble saying that, so I'm gonna just say Shrek.
Right? Take care, Shrek.
Bye, buddies.
Take it easy, buddy. So yeah, what I was saying is like I can hear a good tone, and I know a good tone when I hear it. Or wait, anyway, but I instrument, you're kind of one of these guys that are very fortunate where you can sing off of a tone and just kind of know like the way in which the song is going to progress.
A lot of people can do that, but
Yeah.
it's more
I
a lot of
can't-
confidence has to go with.
For me, I can hear a song and I know almost instantaneously like whether it's fucking pitch perfect. But I'm sure a lot of people can do that as well. The question I'm going to ask you, Sean, is that what's the one song that you would like to have people hear that you can sing through its full fucking octave slash vocabulary, that kind of shit? Like, what's the song that gets you excited about singing?
Well, I know here on the stream, like when we would do the karaoke streams, I sung "Angel with a Shotgun" multiple times, and Rain
Sure.
really likes that song. I know. See, I'm a pretty religious person. That's where I got all my singing experience. So a lot of those kinds of songs really gets me hyped up.
Were you in a choir?
Yeah, I still am.
Are you?
It gives a lot of confidence just to sing in front of people.
Nice. Have you ever seen that clip with the guy in Great Britain has like he's part of like a gospel choir and he has like the helium balloon and he hits this fucking crazy octave, but it still matches with the tone of the song?
I don't think so.
No? Do you want me to try and look it up for you? Because I think
You can, sure.
yeah, mate, I think you'll maybe enjoy this. Having been in a choir, it's fucking incredible.
And like a lot of times in the self promos channel, when a lot of times when I'm, because I can't go, since I have to work, I can't be there every Sunday. But a lot of times when I am there and I'm singing, especially if I have like a microphone, because I don't always have a microphone either. But when I have a microphone, a lot of times I'll post like a Facebook link to where people could watch it if they wanted to. There was one I posted. Shoot, where was it? It's been a little while now where I actually had a solo.
While you're trying to find this, I've got my shared screen up. This is the cunt that I was talking about, where he was like fucking, he's in a choir, but at the same time when that, like no one expected him to go any higher than that, or no one expected it. Oh, okay. You want to listen to it, Sean? Quickly?
Yeah.
Well then jump onto the
It's Shane. Shane.
clip.
What? I'm not good at multitasking.
No, I was saying it's Shane, not Sean.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Honestly,
so bad.
so many people call me Sean instead of Shane that a lot of times I'll just answer to it.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of used to it.
Yeah. Alright, I'm in your little...
Gabby!
Alright, so you can go ahead and play it.
You ready?
I share a cookie with you.
Yeah.
Couple of choir guys, but when they sung it, this guy brought out a fucking helium balloon and he just goes nuts.
There you go, Grubby. How are you?
Anyways, Dream, you should hit the ball though too.
Yes, I'm trying to go for you and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work for me either.
Dude.
Actually, I think I may have seen this. Actually, that is very good. I think I actually have seen that. Now that you...
I'm doing great. It's Friday.
Sorry.
I made it. Another Friday.
Let's go.
No! Dang it.
You hit the pole too hard.
It's off the case. But yeah, see that fucking extenuation and octave? Wow. That's a fucking ball dropper right there.
messed that one up.
Stop with that, buddy.
Big time.
I mean, if you can sing fucking, like, gospel like that.
I grew up on like gospel songs, but that
Yeah, for sure.
that has like a
That's a fucking.
what I call like a high church kind of thing,
Yeah.
where it's like the Renaissance.
Go, 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 gadget
years old,
boots.
like,
But you
Like,
can't,
almost-
you can't catch it without you can't catch it without.
Are you back yet, Krabby?
Ain't no fucking chance can you catch that.
I mean, guys
Oh,
can't
but dude.
anyways.
Balls have not dropped yet, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Sorry,
Yeah.
hold on. I apologize. I realized
It sure is Friday. I'm so happy. It's the freaking weekend. Exactly. There already said there was today somewhere. I didn't even know where. But it sure is. I'm so glad I made it one more week, right? Do you still stream on Twitch? Or not lately? Mostly YouTube, right? Well, we were on track for that hole-in-one, but we didn't quite get it.
Don't get me.
James. Go, 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 go. We're all watching you.
Dream
No pressure.
about you moving the ball.
Okay, got it.
No pressure.
I'm gonna put, as a friend, I'm gonna put him in the headlock and be like, I love you, Brody, but
Nailed it. Nailed it. Oh, it's close.
Close. But no cookie.
Honestly, I'm so much of an enthusiast to these songs. Like, I actually purchased my own copy of like one of the books that we'll use sometimes. Like, I actually ended up buying one. It's in a slightly different color.
Don't. No, that's up.
apparently I can't sit.
Let's try it again. Don't. No. Why is it not working anymore? I don't know. Now we're just gonna.
I love a lot of song.
We're just gonna make all the mistakes and go for it.
but because
Oh,
one that
no!
can
That's how you get a hole in one.
going,
Oh my gosh, I go the wrong way every time. Now I know.
it kinda
Kimono, to
hit
be
that
fair,
special
is
note.
I got in the hole fast.
Did you ever get a hole in one from a crazy shot?
Above all,
Yes,
like,
just about did. If that would have been my first shot.
what you said on it, you know that whistle
But yeah, sometimes you just like go for something wild and you get a hole in one and you're like, what?
Sorry.
Usually I typically watch what other people do first though, and then learn from them.
Probably. Or at least less.
Let's see. Oh,
How did I miss that?
that's what I do. Yeah. I let everybody else go first if I don't know the map or if I can't remember how to get a hole in one on that one. I'll let them go and then I learn from it.
Vocal capacity.
But yeah,
What you should listen to is
sometimes I just don't
you
care.
mentioned, Whitney Houston, I think. Her version.
Well,
Just
yeah,
saying.
Kimono.
Mm,
Cheers. This is the last. I should have got more. Oh well.
Her version of the Star Spangled Banner from like back in the Houston, or back in the 90s is like really good.
I won't lie to you. I'm sure it is
Cheers.
something that I follow. I want to follow because like the Star Spangled Banner
Mm.
like script. It's like you gotta perform in it. Every performer.
Ah, you should join us one day for golf though.
Abide.
You
by
should,
it,
Grubby.
Make it better.
You would have a good time.
The last performer, whereas I don't see performers that way. I see performers being like. I
This
don't
crazy
know.
crew.
I
Mhm.
want
Oh,
to,
sorry. Dream.
sorry.
Oh yeah, go, 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 Mr. Squiggles.
I need to go
Squiggles!
back to the
We're looking at you and staring at you.
Can't
You're
handle
the
whole-
center of attention. And you don't even know it. Goose. Go, Goose. Is the G for goose? I don't even know. I think it's advertising a different game, isn't it?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I think so.
The G for goose. You got a G on your stomach. That's appropriate, considering your nickname in Discord is Goose.
There's a lot of dirty things I want to say, but I'm not going to. But the thing is, the weenus, all there needs to move.
He just stepped away too. But yeah, I think this is our last round though, guys.
I agree.
I know it's early, but I think it's my last round for tonight.
Me too. We can always do after hours, as in. After
Yes. For like 10 minutes.
For 25.
Then I'm gonna go pass out. Not really. Go lay in bed and watch reels and TikToks maybe for 2 hours, then pass out.
Who are not a part of the Kimono community to come into the Discord and just come and chill out with us.
Dream, I'm sick and tired of your weenus right now.
Look, my Venus is
Nice advertisement,
from
man.
Wisdom.
Yep.
Fucking, like, I can sell Santa and Adam, you know what I mean?
Player.
Like, if you want to
He got timed out. He got timed out.
and have a laugh, then just fucking, like,
Yeah, just come chill, hang out,
just
stream.
Anyways, it's
Just-
called
just
Kimono
look.
After Hours. It's what we're gonna do.
After hours.
We're gonna be
After hours, because I can't play anymore, and
No,
yeah.
Kimono After Hour, where we just sit there.
What am I doing?
Uh,
Apparently I can't jump on the second jump for some reason.
We're gonna be here, right? We're gonna be chilling out. We're gonna have a laugh.
Yeah, I know.
There you go, and then you hit the jump, and oh, okay, that was better. That was better.
For the shit
I swear it wouldn't jump in for some reason.
I love you, but
I need to
I
be
love
quiet.
you too.
Yeah, okay.
You know my.
I get it. I got a fucking Concorde, by the way. Just let you know.
Yeah.
Big ass eagle.
Yeah, it's not.
Nice.
You know, this isn't my house.
Pew, no! I hit the edge!
My apologies.
That was not the good way. Let's see.
I tried to
I did that well.
go across and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's the best way to go, is to go across. But I totally messed it up too. No! And then I'm trying to mess it up again. I'm just kidding.
I got very lucky on that one.
I'm trying to let Michigan win this time.
No, I'm in last place, probably.
Oh
You
my.
let them win.
Well, friendship.
Dude, Kimono.
To be fair, though,
Apparently I can't play this map for some reason.
I just can't wait until it's over, honestly.
Some chatting shit.
Because it's painful to watch, right?
No, I suck at this.
Oh my god.
I'm not doing that well.
Do you know what?
You're doing better than me.
Absolute karma.
Well, we'll see. I'm probably in last. No.
No, we're tied. Don't even.
We're
We're
both
tied.
sucking. We're both sucking.
Okay, no, okay, you might be, but I'm not, so.
Not that way. Wow, unbelievable. I'm trying to PG up in here, and then no, unbelievable.
Is that really possible on Golf with Friends? No.
Yeah, I'm just having a good old time, and then you.
A wild sand slash
Green, you
appeared.
hit me.
Yo, just jump the fence. Yeah,
How dare you.
yeah, but not that high.
How many holes we got left?
That's what
Too
he said.
many.
I just want to know how.
I just want to like get closer. There we go.
I'm just trying to get in the hole quick so we can get done with this one. And then
That's fine.
Dang it! I'm losing my lead.
I'll take one less than the rest.
The dog hit me.
Whoever is in first, we have to drug test because they're not drinking enough.
So.
Well, it's no longer me because I keep missing.
Right.
Ah,
What happens if I end up winning?
Then
you're probably still in the lead.
Then I will send you.
I think we're all messing up. Yeah, you are.
I'm still in the lead. Look at that.
We're all messing up really bad. It's not just you.
I'm gonna win for sure.
No, to be fair, he is a little, you know.
Okay, I finally got a hole in one. I feel a little better now.
That was an easy hole in one, by the way. I got a hole in
True.
one.
But I'm very competitive.
You did not.
At least
get a
Dreams
hole in
found
one.
it. Dreams found the hole this time.
Guarantee I'm still gonna win.
Well, he found it in 2, which is good. I guess.
Sure.
Hey, you found it in 2. I found it in 1. A lot of.
That was a hole in one, Shane? Did you get a hole in one? Dang.
Does a hole in one. Hold on, where's the hole?
Not.
There it is, somewhere there.
James is going swimming. Swimming.
But
I got a bar, I'm happy.
Just go across the water and jump.
Disney wonders.
Oh, you gotta go a little
back.
further across the water.
Damn. Didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's a little. It's quite a ways.
Sacrifice
No!
this. I won't sacrifice it because
Uh-oh.
then
Don't think hard, just do it.
Just go. Yeah. There you go. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
I like goose.
Just do it, make a drink.
Yeah, Michigan is my goose, and I'm 100% fucking.
No, I'm just a good friend.
Choo.
That's all it is. I'm not
Michigan is
anything
most
special.
definitely goose. He's the man who'll bring you
No,
up
no,
when you're
I'm
feeling
just-
down.
Not gonna go until people get done hitting me.
Yes. Michigan's the guy. Michigan's the guy that will. Oh, wow, that's not all bones.
No!
Is that not all bones?
I'm too close to the fucking.
Michigan's just flying all over the place. We're just gonna watch.
Like a proper goose.
Oh,
Goose
come on.
Maverick.
Get out of here, come on.
That's the wrong way. You're supposed to help me, not hurt me.
Get in the hole.
No,
Get
no.
Holy
you're sitting over
cow.
here watching. Unbelievable.
You did. You really hurt me. I'm like way back here now.
No, no, don't watch.
Oh, I don't even know
Don't
where I'm
watch
at
me.
now.
Don't watch me. Support me.
No, you messed me up.
Mm.
So mean.
You was sitting there laughing.
No, I wasn't. I was waiting for somebody to push me in.
Don't watch me, support me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fucking, that's some fuels right there.
I was trying to catch up to Shane. Look at you. You ruined my chances.
Well, Shane bought me dinner, so.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Aye,
Pardon?
You did.
Yeah.
You just don't
And
remember.
I ran an absolute ass. I wanted to sing a song.
Sing
it
me
depends
a
on the song.
I'm the
Just-
man.
Oh, that's a very good one.
Song.
Go, Joel. But regardless, I wanted to sing a song because I. Man, you have a fucking good voice.
Lady, you have a
You really
great
do.
cat.
And I don't think.
Aw, Brooke.
Actually.
I wasn't gonna say the other
Let's
word
go.
I
because
can hear.
people
I can
can't
hear
see it.
tones, buddy. I can hear tones that I know you're an amazing singer.
Thank you.
You don't?
No. There's been like if I'm given like a keyboard,
I'm
like
playing
piano
now.
keyboard, like I can, like if you give me enough time, I can like pick out little tunes and play by
Sure.
ear. But I don't actually. Play.
Ooh, Michigan dreams are
That
fighting.
is incredible. So I can hear a good tone, and I love a good tone.
Oh,
I can't
that
sing-
looked like on purpose to
I
me.
can't really sing what the shit.
I literally helped them out.
You better hurry,
I
Michigan.
did that.
Oh no, you hit Shane.
I can't.
Oh,
remember what it
no.
is, But I can hear a good tone. I can recognize an actual fucking
All over the place.
and
Oh,
recognize
yeah, I did. Again, dude. Damn it.
something more than just
I'm
Your
losing.
fingers are all over the place. It's nuts.
a song. You know what I mean? I can recognize.
I was trying to help you on
more
that
than
one.
just rendition. So
I want the whole
what I
spiel.
would like to do
I went too far.
is to just
But in the end,
sing.
It doesn't really matter.
that's
Sing a song.
Oh, too much power.
Ah,
Sing a song that you like, that you want other people to hear, and it might not be for
Let's see.
everybody, but it
meow
just
meow.
for me, kind of listen to.
I messed up. I messed up. I messed
I wanna help
up.
my
Fucking
cat.
horse
right
shit.
now, Lady's making me jealous.
Stop.
because I wanna
Gotta go back to the beginning.
Fuck off.
Hi.
My cat's not here.
Oh no.
Well, when I know Dreams was as it gets.
I don't even know how I got up here.
I know we're not gonna.
Hey, look, if you're gonna do
I'm
fucking what you Houston,
I'm gonna
sorry.
retire.
No, not that.
Or if you're gonna
No,
do fucking
I'm not.
some kind of rendition of a Christmas song or the Pogues or whatever.
I was gonna say, I don't think Mono's gonna do an actual Christmas stream, but streams closer to Christmas, I'll definitely be singing some then.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, get some video. I'd love to.
Regardless,
Mm.
for now.
Meow. There you
I
go.
love the confidence.
Only took 8 times. I totally got lost behind there now.
Yeah, I actually retired after this. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I retired.
You got a few more rounds to go.
Yeah, I just.
This should be the last hold. This one's the toughest to me.
Is this the last one? Did I retire?
No, it should be though.
Oh.
Should be though. To me, it's the most pain in the butt one.
To be fair, I'm ace to the beast. That's what always what he says.
No dreams, don't fall off, don't fall off, don't fall off, don't fall off. There, you made it. Proud of you.
You know
And
what?
then,
I'm
oh,
proud
we're
of
gonna
you
have to
too.
go bury him now because he don't like this. Like he had a heart attack.
Did we lose Michigan? Did you quit?
Yeah, I left. Like I
What
said,
the
I
hell?
retired. As
Quitter.
it says.
Don't do that.
I did because
No.
that was way too many holes for me. Way too many.
As much as I'm probably your safe space,
You can't quit.
Kimono's
What if I quit? I'm a streamer.
You gotta go back in.
Well, then therefore everybody else has to quit.
No, that wouldn't be
I'm not the
fair.
streamer.
You're still, that doesn't mean you can quit.
No, I'm not the streamer. That's exactly why.
No.
We're stopping?
Mm. You go forward. I'm just sitting here laughing at you guys.
Aye.
I'm allowed to quit because
No.
because
Nope. You're not.
because
Nope.
because
Not allowed.
because
Do you know
Nope.
your first mistake, Michigan?
you
Because
they're not in that way.
Dreams. Have you ever heard of
Oh.
the band, the High Kings?
Ooh.
that's a negative, brother.
Okay.
Ugh.
It's a Celtic band, but I like a lot of their songs. I found.
Nope, that did not work for me at all. Just do it. I'm seeing how many moves I can make in one round versus how little. That's what it is.
No, I've not heard of that band.
After stream, then when we're in the Discord, I may sing a song for it.
Perfect. Love it.
There we go. Only 12. I'm gonna hide my head now.
Scottish. You fucking legend.
Meow.
My cat came up.
Perfect. Nailed it. First time.
My cat turned her name.
Pussy galore. Pussy galore was the female character of 007. They had a film about it. Pussy galore.
I don't know.
There we go. Got the weird looking eye thingamajiggy hat thingamajiggy. But on that note, that is it, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out on Friday night.
With us.
Streams times, yes. Niku Niku
Anyways,
Ni.
Kimono chat. I
Thank
love
you for
y'all.
putting up with our craziness. And we will catch you guys next time. But thank you, everyone.
Catch you on the flippity
Can't
flop.
live with
Good
them.
night, everyone. Say good night.
Take care. I love you all, chat. If you're here, that means that you love us.
If
Yeah,
you've lasted
yeah.
all of my rambling,
Good night.
then you clearly love this channel.
Take care. Love y'all.
Just go into the
Bye.
fucking Discord. Like,
Join us,
go-
yes.
just go
After
to the
stream
Discord.
party.
Just
Bye.
Kimono
love
after
you.
hours, actually.
After hours.